Warner Brothers reveals its new strategy for the DC film universe. It's no secret that Warner Brothers has struggled with how to develop the mixed bag that has been the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah.
While the early works in the grim and gritty DC era of the mid-2010s have their die-hard fans and devotees, it's fair to say that most audiences weren't on board for the darker take on Batman, Superman, and the general vibe of dystopian sadness and superhero angst as seen in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. That's why, for the past few years, we've seen what amounts to a real-time course correction of the DC cinematic universe. From retconning Wonder Woman's history to the changes Joss Whedon made to Justice League, we've witnessed the WB realize that the darker tone, as well as the rush to establish a shared universe without earning the characters first, was a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
However, thanks to an interview in the LA Times with Warner Brothers film head honcho Kevin Tsuchihara, we're finally getting confirmation of what we've long suspected, that a change in overall direction for the DC films has been in play, and it looks like their universe might be on track. In the interview, Tsuchihara dishes a little about the upcoming Space Jam sequel, the failure of Fantastic Beasts 2, and the hope of returning to the Mad Max franchise with director George Miller. And when asked how the WB's strategy has changed with its DC films, he is equally frank: the universe isn't as connected as we thought it was going to be 5 years ago. You're seeing much more focus on individual experiences around individual characters. We've already seen this to be the case with the success of Wonder Woman in 2017, and more recently with Aquaman becoming the highest-grossing DC film, bringing in over $1 billion. Let that sink in for a second. Get it? Sink. Aquaman? Aquaman is bigger than Batman.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear Warner Brothers is taking the right lessons from all of their recent success and forging their own path regarding their characters, rather than trying to clone their own version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And speaking of those individual films, Tsuchihara had this to say about them: the upcoming slate with Shazam, Joker, Wonder Woman 1984, and Birds of Prey feels like we're on the right track. We have the right people in the right jobs working on it. So what was it that finally drove the message home that fans wanted less shared universe and more character pieces? Specifically, Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. What Patty Jenkins did on Wonder Woman illustrated to us what you could do with these characters who are not Batman and Superman, Tsuchihara said, adding, obviously we want to get those two in the right place and we want strong movies around Batman and Superman, but Aquaman is a perfect example of what we can do. They're each unique and the tone's different in each movie. Honestly, it's refreshing to hear WB own up to what went wrong with their DC approach and that they're focusing on building out the characters. And even though there will still be hints of some interconnectivity, like Superman and Batman being heavily referenced in Shazam, WB is finally doubling down on the fact that these classic characters have more than enough going on for themselves to just focus on them one at a time. But don't worry, Justice League fans, their new laser focus on characters doesn't mean that a shared universe is completely off the table. As Tsuchihara added, that's not to say we won't at some point come back to that notion of a more connected universe, but it feels like that's the right strategy for us right now. Ultimately, it sounds like the future of the DC films are getting on track, and with the Joker origin film, Birds of Prey, Shazam, and Wonder Woman 1984 on the horizon, we are on board for the new DC cinematic universe.
Booyah.
But what do you folks think? Are you excited for DC's standalone films? Is there one in particular you're looking forward to? And Martha's aside, if Superman and Batman were to really get in a fight, who would win? I'm keeping my opinion to myself. Let's discuss. Except for me. Be sure to like, subscribe, and mash that little bell to get notified every time we go live with the show or drop a new video. And if you're looking for more superhero goodness, check out our latest Nerdist remix, Captain Marvel 1995. This trailer recut has got vintage Samuel L. Jackson, 90s special effects, and so much more that'll have you reaching for your Blockbuster card. Catch it right now on Nerdist YouTube!